The second week of Dana White's Tuesday Night Contender Series. Billy Brand takes on Cody Haddon. Guys, this is going to be a fantastic matchup, and this is really interesting for a couple of reasons, but one of the big reasons is that both of these guys have one loss on their career, but those losses come to some high-level UFC prospects. When we look at Cody Haddon, he's 6-1 on his career, 4-1 in his last 5 fights. That one loss is to Steve Erceg, who we obviously just saw fight for the championship against Alexandre Pantoja and actually have a very close matchup. So that loss, Cody Haddon's very, very competitive in that fight. And it was a 29-28 decision for Erceg, but you can't really say that the level was that far apart between these two. So that gives a lot of credibility to Cody Haddon, even in a loss. On the other side, Billy Brand, he's 5-1 in the career, 4-1 in his last 5 fights. That one loss is a back-and-forth matchup against Peyton Talbot, who has looked absolutely fantastic thus far in the UFC and outside of it. Peyton Talbot is a Terminator, and Billy Brand made it to the 3rd round against him, but he also had a lot of success on the way there. So for a guy like Billy Brand, that shows A, his durability, and B, it also shows the fact that he's got the skills to compete with a guy like Peyton Talbot in not only the striking, but the grappling, mostly striking. That's mostly what we've seen in Billy Brand's career. But he has the ability to do that with these high-level guys. So both of them have one loss, both to high-level UFC competitors. So that's very interesting. This matchup here, we're gonna see who the better one-loss prospect is, right? We're gonna start on the Cody Haddon side. This guy, the thing that stands out the most to me is this guy's cardio is fantastic. He's never not doing something, and he just keeps that same extreme high volume and pace the entire fight. All 3 rounds, does not matter. He's going to keep that up. We especially saw that in the Erceg fight, where that fight was grueling, and this dude just kept on doing stuff the whole time. Like, he was never relaxing. He was never like, oh man, time to take a quick breather and catch my breath. Dude was just going. So that's impressive to me. Cody Haddon's cardio is fantastic. He's a solid striker as well. It's typically a boxing kind of style. He does mixing kicks every now and then, but he's predominantly a boxer. He works the body extremely well, good combinations, and he can mix up levels in his combinations. So he can go high and low in the same combo, whatever. That was kind of weird, but like, whatever. You know what I mean? I'm just mixing up the idea of the high and low. So, but he does a good job there. He has a really clean jab that he can extend far on and close some distance with that long rangey shot. Good head movement as well, and the volume is there to back it up. So for Cody Haddon, this dude's striking, probably the more polished of the two, but it's but they're different styles of striking. So the way that Cody Haddon strikes is a very like technical, crisp boxing style, and that's what we're going to see there. We'll talk about Billy Brand's in just a moment. We're going to go to the grappling of Haddon. Haddon's grappling is also solid. This guy has great scrambles. His ground and pound volume is fantastic. Good transitions. He can mix in takedowns of his own, and he does a pretty good job with those. But the thing that stands out the most, refusal to accept bottom position. When this guy's on the bottom, he's constantly doing something to get back up or to reverse position or whatever he's got to do. He's never settling. He just keeps on doing stuff. And he has really good submission defense. We've seen him in a couple of situations where a lot of people would have gotten caught. He's able to fight the hands or fight whatever he needs to do, reverse position, get out of his submission attempts. And he does a really good job at remaining calm, doing what he has to do, and taking the steps to get there. Now, on the other side, Billy Brand, we haven't seen much of his grappling. He's had a few moments of grappling, but it's not like we've seen him really go out there and get into extended grappling exchanges like we have with Haddon. So maybe this changes with the wrestling, but he does seem to have good wrestling. He will work the cage push and wear on guys up against that and mix in his takedowns against the cage. We haven't seen a ton of grappling exchanges, like I've said. So this is what we got so far, and that's kind of what I can base it off of. I do think this is predominantly going to be a striking matchup between a couple of guys that prefer to strike. But when we look at Billy Brand striking, he's a solid striker that loves to come forward. He's got good head movement, but the one drawback is that he'll put his hands down and kind of taunt. And I don't like that in this matchup specifically because Haddon's got quick hands and he definitely can crack. So, but the head movement's good for Brand. He's durable enough that he can eat a couple of shots if he does get caught. He likes to roll with the punches, things like that. But I don't quite like the putting the hands down and taunting. That's just, it could end up really bad for him. And you'll never look more stupid than on the Contender Series if you go out there and you drop your hands to taunt and you get knocked out, because that's going to stick around forever. So, but it looks cool when you can make somebody miss completely and then counter strike. Don't get me wrong, but it does have potential for for a rough spot. But very good kicks. He's much more of a kicker than Cody Haddon. He will work that leg kick volume just constantly, just touching the lead leg often throughout the fight. But he does kick to all levels: head kicks, body kicks, leg kicks, whatever. He's going to mix them up. He's got a ton of volume, and it's weird because like he'll throw combinations sometimes, but a lot of times it's more of just like a volume of like single shots or like two-shot strikes or two strike combinations or stuff like that, where it's like, you know, he'll throw like a body shot, and then he'll come forward and throw like another shot, and then throw a kick, and it's like a bunch of just individual moves, but at a rapid succession, but not quite enough that I could say they're like a fluid combination. It's weird, but he'll mix in combos, don't get me wrong, but it's mostly that, where it's like a just rapid succession of individual shots, and it makes his opponents not really know where things are coming. So it's definitely a positive for him. He's able to use that to get opponents kind of frozen, and he mixes a lot of feints in there with that. So because of the feints in the middle of things, it kind of breaks up that rhythm, and it really makes it hard for opponents to know what's coming next. He also works the body extremely well. He gets down real low and just rips those body shots hard. I do like to see that from Brand. Ultimately, this is going to be a fun fight. I think it's probably the fight of the night. It's going to be the most action-packed. I mean, that's what happens when you start getting into the smaller weight classes. Obviously, we're here at bantamweight. So seeing, you know, the smaller weight classes, you often get a little more action out of it. So for me, this is a great fight. I'm taking Cody Haddon, though. I know he opened as the underdog. I don't believe he is still there. Maybe he is. I try not to check out the odds too much before I do these videos, but I do believe he has flipped to the favorite. But Cody Haddon, I think, has the more well-rounded toolbox, and I think he's going to be able to get in there and do what needs to be done to get the win. Probably by decision, because I do think Billy Brand is incredibly durable. But it should be a good fight, and I'm looking forward to this one. Let me know what you guys think. Who do you have? Like the video while you're down there. And if you haven't done it already, check out the rest of the videos in this playlist. We have all 5 of the Contender Series matchups for week number 2 in the playlist. It should have popped up on screen already, but if it has not, it will shortly. And I will see you guys in the next fight that you watch.